Hi, I'm Luan Akin with Tagawa Gardens here in Centennial, Colorado, and I look at flowers like this, beautiful plants, and I instantly think of my grandmother. So there's a real memorial component to this, emotional component, and that's one reason that I love to hang out in Tagawa's houseplant department. The head, the supervisor of Tagawa's houseplant department is Dee. These are not my grandmother's African violets.
No, they're not.
What's different? I know it's a big family. Start over here with these beautiful.
The whole Gerneriad family or genre is your Streptocarpus, your Gloxinias, and your Charitas, which is the yellow one, and then all of your different varieties of African violets.
All one big family. These are probably the most common, what we think of as African violets.
Yes.
In a resurgence?
Yes. It's amazing. Even the African Violet Society has seen a resurgent. People are collecting them. There are thousands and thousands of different varieties of them.
And thousands. How hard are they to care for?
I think they're extremely easy. What people tend to do is they kill them with kindness, and especially with the overwatering department. They are succulent. They live in relatively dry conditions, but they do like a little bit of humidity. And then that's where people get mixed up. They keep them too wet, and then they rot. But they do need a little extra humidity, and that's why we use the self-watering containers.
How does that work?
There's a reservoir in the bottom of the container that we put water in, and then the plant sucks up the excess water from the base, but it gives you that extra humidity on the undersides of the leaves.
So for that plant in that little pot, you would never overhead water?
Believe it or not, there's a misconception on that.
Okay.
What they don't like is cold water on their leaves. Oh. So when you do water, I believe watering from the top and leaching through, especially in the self-waterers, people keep putting water in the bottom and then siphoning up, and then that top part stays bone dry. I advise watering from the top and leaching through, and then adding water to the reservoir when it dries out.
So as long as it's not sitting in water, it's
right.
okay. All right.
Definitely. Right. Just use lukewarm or room temperature water and try not to get the leaves wet.
Okay. This guy looks like he could use a haircut.
He needs a little deadheading, and the white varieties tend to show it more, but you can see that all the flowers are starting to fade, and I kind of like the two-tone. But once they start turning brown, you want to pinch them with your fingers or a good pair of scissors.
How far back are you going?
I pinch them to where it's attached to the next set of leaves. Or flowers. If the whole thing is looking bad, then I advise removing the whole thing all the way down to where it's attached to the plant. But I first do what's called deadheading, where I remove the flowers, and then if all I have is an empty stem, then I take it all the way back. But that resurrects the plant. It's putting a lot of energy into this. And if I remove that, then it's going to concentrate on more flowers, and it will bloom a lot longer. If you leave them on there, then it tends to bloom out, and then you don't have anything.
Okay. You have one that you want to transplant here.
Yeah.
Why do you know, and how do you know that it needs transplanted?
Well, for one, this one's drying out too fast for my watering schedule. I'm unable to keep up with the watering. Plus, you can see it's spread out. It's still putting out buds, but it's not blooming like it normally, and there's a lot of extended leaves. Okay. I want to get it into a one size bigger pot that's usually about 2 inches larger in pot size.
Okay, show us what you suggest.
Okay. Same old, same old. We're going to put a coffee filter or a weed barrier fabric in the bottom of the container.
Which needs to have drainage.
Yes, we want a hole in the bottom of the pot. I want to make sure my pot is glazed, the lip of the pot. If it's not glazed, that, like I said, this plant gets cold, and if this leaf sits on the edge of the pot, it gets cold, and it will kill it. So we want glazed edges. Okay. Okay. And then I don't want to bury the plant. I don't want to keep it or put it in too deep of a pot. So I'm going to put about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of soil in the bottom of the container. And then I'm going to just set it like that to see if it's the right height. Okay. If it's too high, then I'll remove a little bit. So that's right on the money. Then I'm going to remove all the older leaves.
These kind of look a little out of proportion.
They do. And this is going to help the plant recover quicker by removing the leaves. I'm not going to remove them all, but I'm going to just remove the outer ones that are sticking out. Plus, I can propagate these.
Those will root.
Oh, they will root, either in water or soil. And I'm going to flare the roots out just a little bit. As you can see, they have very tiny root system,
okay.
so you don't need to repot them all the time. My mother had one that was in a pot that was maybe a little bit bigger than this, and the plant was massive. Okay.
So they can easily be overpotted.
Oh, they
Too
can.
big.
They can.
Okay.
And then they tend to multiply on you. You'll get multiple plants, and then they don't look good. So you want to keep that one plant in the pot. Then I just lift up the leaves, and I do let the plant get a little dry so it gets soft. So they don't
So you're not
break.
breaking it.
Exactly.
Because it is a succulent. It holds
Exactly.
that water, stores the water.
And I just lift up the leaves, give it a turn, and I want to make sure that soil level stays the same as the old soil level is.
Right. So it's not deeper, it's not higher.
Right. If anything, you can kind of lift it up.
Oh.
That will allow that soil to go down the edges.
Okay.
Push out any air bubbles. I'm not trying to jam that soil in tight. I want it loose. I want to
Tucking
allow.
it in a little bit.
Yep, exactly. And that's pretty much about it.
And what kind of light will it need to perform well?
It does need a little bit of direct sunlight. I advise at least 2 to 4 hours of morning or afternoon sun.
Okay.
I've grown these and had them bloom in a northern exposure, but they tend to stop blooming in the winter because the sun's clear on the other side. So I tend to flip them around.
It's so much fun to have something flowering pretty much all the time indoors to
They're
really
an everbloomer.
boost your spirits midwinter. Dee is full of great ideas about African violets, the gloxinia, other things you can really impress your friends and family, and they'll think you're absolutely a botanical genius. Come see us at Tagawa's. We would be happy to help you be green and grow.